Building a business around an indie game. An overview of the first 3 months. Hey there, my name is Zach from BlackFoxDigital. I'm a video game developer that is actively building a business around the game that I'm making. I'm currently a student at the University of South Florida in St. Petersburg studying entrepreneurship. The past few months have been fantastic because I'm able to take the topics that I learn about in class and apply them directly to my business. In this video, I'm going to break down the steps that I've taken thus far and talk about how they're building for the future. I hope that this can be an informative resource for other developers out there, and while it is by no means a step-by-step guide that everyone can follow, it can at least give you insight into a first-time developer's experience. The topics I plan to cover are product, structure, protection, exposure, and maintenance. Product. My product is my game. My game is a 2D competitive platformer that is being built for Windows, Mac, and consoles. The reason I chose to pursue this game is because of the early reactions from my close friends and family to playing it. The nature of the game creates intense battles that people seem to feel an emotional attachment to. I don't have much of a background in game development, but this game is my passion, and my abilities are progressing rapidly. I spend a lot of my waking hours thinking about ways I can improve the game, and even have dreams about it and its development. If you haven't already, start thinking of a name for your game. At first I really like the name BlockShot. The name has a double meaning because it describes two key game mechanics, blocking and shooting, while also addressing the player characters, who are represented by blocks. As time went on, I felt like the name needed something extra, and after some brainstorming, I settled with BlockShot Champion. This name has a little bit more of a ring to it, and adds the element of competition, which is what I want the game to focus on. This name is also available as an online moniker in most places, but I'll cover that a little more in the protection section. Once you've built something that shows the concept of your game, share your project with gamers that are close to you, friends and family. Watch their facial reactions. Gauge their enjoyment. Do they get it? Is it something that you think a larger audience will get value from? Is there something unique? If you think that you may have a product worth pursuing, it's time to develop some structure to build from. Topic 2 is structure. When I talk about structure, I'm talking about the tools that I use to give me an understanding of where I am and where I'm going. There are 5 different forms of structure that I personally use: the SWOT analysis, the business model canvas, action plans, contingency plans, and general spreadsheets. If you've taken any college-level business classes, you'll probably be familiar with the SWOT analysis. It's a simple 4-panel worksheet where you identify your inner strengths and weaknesses and your external opportunities and threats. This is something you should do multiple times throughout the year, and it helps you gain a better awareness of your current position. I do a SWOT analysis every month. One for me as a person, and one for my business. I cannot stress the importance of this analysis enough. It doesn't take too long to fill out, and keep them safe so you can reference them in the future. Next up is the business model canvas. This is something that is also a dynamic document. Think of this as your living business plan. As soon as you discover an important aspect of your business that you hadn't thought of before, document it here. The worksheet is typically a 9-section document that covers key partners, key activities, value propositions, customer relationships, customer segments, key resources, channels, cost structure, and revenue streams. I customize my worksheet by adding an extra section that covers my minimum viable product. For key partners, think about what companies or people you need to have a good relationship with in order to get your game to the market. Key activities are things that you actively need to be doing during the time until release and then after. Value proposition is what you want your game to provide customers. Customer segments is the general target market that your game is suited to. Key resources are things or people that are vital to the success of your game and business. The minimum viable product section is where you list everything that you think is required to be implemented before the game is released. Channels covers how the consumers will purchase or receive your product. Cost structures are what you predict you'll have to spend money on in order to get your game to the market and keep it there. And lastly, revenue streams are the ways that you see cash flowing into your business. Filling out each of these sections to the best of your ability will give you a basic business plan to grow upon. I use action plans to keep track of what I want to work on. I keep mine in a spreadsheet in order to record my actions over time and stay organized. I have two different plans that I work on. One for my game development and the other for the business side of things. I start by writing the current date. Next, I identify a small specific task that needs to be completed and then state how I plan on achieving the desired result. For teams of more than one person, it should be noted who is responsible for the action and when it's due by. Finally, I have a column to record if the action has been completed and then list any notes that go along with the result. Action plans help you stay on top of tasks needing to be completed and will help with accountability and responsibility as your business grows. Contingency plans are often overlooked, but are just as important as any other tool. The purpose of a contingency plan is to have alternatives in place in case something doesn't go according to plan. For example, if this happens, then we can do this, this, or this. Being prepared for when things go wrong will help you adapt to the change quickly and hopefully help you overcome it successfully. The other spreadsheets you can use differ for each person, but there are several spreadsheets that I keep and update as time goes on. One is cash flows. I document everything I spend and receive. This will help when tax season comes around. I also keep a contact list, which is a tab for general networking contacts and another tab for key partners. So after filling out your SWOT analysis, creating a business model canvas, organizing action and contingency plans, and setting up some general spreadsheets, you should have a foundation to build from. Check out the links in the description for some templates. The next topic is protection. First, I formed an LLC. This gives me liability protection for my own personal assets and an EIN so I can be taxed as a business. It also gave me the ability to open a business bank account so I can keep my personal and business finances separate. As I mentioned earlier, I changed the name of my game from BlockShot to BlockShot Champion. One of the reasons I did this is because much of the online real estate that I wanted to use was already taken for BlockShot. I wanted people to be able to search for my game's name on any platform and be able to find it. Thankfully, BlockShot Champion was available. Once I decided on the name, I bought domains and registered social media pages for it, along with my business name. As far as copyright and trademarks go, using your name followed by TM or using the C symbol to accompany your work shows that you're at least attempting to protect your intellectual property. Using a TM does not guarantee that the trademark will be protected, but will inform potential infringers that the term is being claimed as a trademark. Copyright registration is not required, but does provide benefits such as proof of ownership. The United States Patent and Trademark Office website is a fantastic resource for more information on trademarks. The United States Copyright Office is an equally good resource for information dealing with copyrights. Both are linked in the description. Topic 4 covers exposure. Exposure is another name for marketing. I used a simple template to help me along the way and break the plan down into different parts. The sections are as follows: target market, price, place, promotion, timeline, and cost estimates. For the target market, think about what you identified in the customer segments part of the business model canvas and expand upon it. Why is this your target market, and approximately how many people are you targeting? These don't have to be exact numbers, but a little research goes a long way. To determine a price, look at the products your competitors offer and analyze what you are offering in comparison. Where does your game fit on this price scale? Remember that it will be very hard for you to raise the price of your product once it's released, but it can be relatively easy to discount it. For the place section, you need to take a step back and think, how does your target market consume media? Where do they get their information? For me, I determined that social media and conventions are my platforms to reach my audience. For promotion, consider this the content that you'll be presenting to your audience. Will it be pictures, videos, blog posts, demos, business cards, merchandise? How will you communicate your message and make it stick? Now that you have a general idea of what methods and content you'll be marketing, you need to think of a timeline of how you'll use it. This timeline can be as specific as you want. I kept my timeline quite general at first, but now that I'm booking convention space throughout next year, the timeline is becoming more concrete and I can be a little more specific with what I want to do. Once you have your timeline built, you can start planning your estimated costs. Convention space isn't cheap, and social media takes up a lot of time. You'll need to prioritize and plan wisely. Make sure every penny is spent for good reason. Personally, I've set myself a small budget from my savings and bootstrapped funds, and have built my estimates and timeline around that. Before we move on any further, I want to bring special attention to conventions and trade shows. I find these to be a vital component to my marketing plan, as this is where I get to network and get real-time feedback about my game. You don't have to blow your entire budget on a booth at GDC, but that local college indie game showcase might be worth going to, especially if you're just starting out. My first convention gave me incredible feedback that I couldn't have gotten elsewhere, and it helped me start building a network within the industry. It's a big step to put your game in the hands of the public, but it's an important one. Lastly, I'd like to talk about maintenance. This final section will be short. Its purpose is to restate how important it is to treat all of these documents as living documents. They will grow and change over time. Maintain the health of your business by going back and reading what you wrote at the beginning. This will help you stay focused and on track to success. Keep developing your product. Do a monthly SWOT analysis. Add to your business model canvas. Use and stay on top of your action plans. Create new contingency plans when you identify risks to your business. Stay organized with spreadsheets. Protect your intellectual property. Grow relationships with key partners. Find conventions to share your creation. Create content for social media and interact with people who choose to follow you. These are things that I'm doing. Not everything will work for you the same way they work for me, but hopefully they'll give you something to build from. I'm always developing my business and strategy, so if you have any tips or advice, I'd love to hear them. Check the description for templates and links, and please like, comment, and subscribe if you found this information useful. Thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.